What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy BT, and today we're going to deal with something that probably shouldn't even exist from the factory. We're going to get rid of this big extra stuff back here, and we got some nice products from TST Industries, so let's get started. All right, so we're going to get started with this job today, and really, if you're going to do the fender elimination, there are a couple things you want to do all at once. So we have the integrated tail lights, so we're going to get that installed. We also have the license plate bracket that we're going to mount, and we also have the light that goes in along with the relay that's going to control the flashing. So let's go ahead, unbox this, check out the products, and get these things installed. So here's our integrated tail light. It looks really good. This is the smoke edition. You can see that TST Industries. So far, it looks like pretty good quality of a product. We've got an additional harness here that will plug into this piece here, and the rest will go into the factory harness. And we also, what's nice, they gave some taps here to tap into the line so that we can also have the license plate light. I will go over the wiring diagram so you can at least know what wires to tap into if you're not using this particular product. Like I said, we've got the relay, we've got the fender Eliminator kit here. Let me grab, let's get these open and see how they look. All right, so here is our wire harness. So this is the harness that will be installed with this. And we've also got some screws to secure that light. Next, we have the hardware to tidy up that tail. So as you can see there are no instructions included here, but this shouldn't be too hard to figure out, so we'll walk you through each step of how to get this installed. Here we have our wire taps and our nice license plate light setup here. So without any further ado, let's get to work. All right, so first thing, we gotta get the seat off. So put the key in, turn it. It's like you gotta pull up and then pull back. All right, so when we look here at this setup, we can see we've got a couple of screws here that probably are holding this bottom section in here. And then we've got the light here. And then we also have a harness that is running off to the side here underneath. So let's go ahead and start by taking out some screws here. So to start, we've got these here. There are 10 millimeters. Okay, and we can see that quickly releases the bottom section here. So this is just sitting in a little bracket here. These two little lips here are tucked in here. So now we do have the rest of the wiring harness to unplug. So the first wiring harness you want to unplug is unplug this in the side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tuck this back here in its spot. I'm actually going to put one screw back in here just to hold it up, kind of hold it in place while we work. So to get this plug out, what we do, pull this back, and you press down on this tab here, and that plugs it out. So then that allows us to get to this cable here, and now we can take off this bottom section. So all we're going to do is feed this out the bottom here, and just like that, the entire stuff is out of there. This is what it looks like, this big giant thing, and all we're getting out of here, we're getting this light connection, we're getting these connections out of this plug. All right, so next up we have the tail light here. This tail light is connected also with 10s. So we can go ahead and disconnect this. And now for the tail light, right in here, which runs alongside here, is also yet another plug right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, disconnect this. Okay, so to disconnect this, there's a little tab here. You pull up on that tab and you pull it away. And the rest is just a matter of pulling. Let's see here. We have 2 spots here. So we have 1 spot underneath here. You've got to squeeze to get that going up. Okay, so you can see that's up. And then we have 1 spot here where this cable is tucked in here on the side. So you pull that out and that will allow us to take this tail light out the back here. All right, so to get the tail light out, you're just going to pull gently on it. It will release, and then you just have to work on feeding this wire out of this section here. I'm going to go ahead and get our wire through here. Okay, so I'm going to bring it through the center here. It's actually in a small little channel inside. Once you get it out of that channel, you can wiggle the way to the center, pull it out. Here it is, and then you can slide it out. So here is the light out.
So in the event that you're not installing the same setup that I'm going over here, here is the wiring diagram for the left rear turn signal, the right rear turn signal, the license plate light, along with the brake light.
Okay, so now we're going to start the assembly process here. So they have provided us some spots here for holes. The center hole where the license plate light will feed through is a 5/32, and the bigger ones on the end, which the bracket here will bolt up to, that's going to be a 15/16. So let's go ahead and get that drilled out. Okay, now that we've got these drilled out, we know this bracket sits this way, so our license plate frame is going to be sitting like so. So we're going to go ahead and get that seated on there with the proper bolts. First, we're going to take these 2 bolts, put some washers in them. I'm going to slide them through the hole here. So then what you want to do, after you get everything centered up nicely, however you want, then what we will do is add. So to ensure that we don't install this bracket upside down, this is the part facing the back side of the bike. The U-shaped part, the rounded part, should be facing up. So we're going to go ahead and swap that around. And don't forget to add the washer to this side before adding on the nut to this end. So now what we're going to do is we're going to feed this wire here. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these right here. We're going to use these hardwares to install, or at least hold this in place. So what you do, we're going to put this in from the underside. We're going to set it in place. We're going to set it in place, and then we're going to add the washer and the nut after it to get it secured. So for this particular screw underneath here, this Allen key is a 3mm. And what you're going to want to do is leave a little bit of slack on these bolts here so that you can have some room to play. You got to maneuver some wires around. So we're going to slide this underneath on this side here, come around. Once you get the wire around, just gonna let it sit off to the side for now. Here, because we're gonna tap it into the line here. But right now we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get our tail light added in. So here's our tail light. We're just gonna slide that here through the center hole. Get that situated in place. So all you have to do is align the holes to the previous holes, slide them in, and then it's ready to be secured. So we do have some screws that were supplied in the kit. So we're going to go ahead, grab those screws and secure the taillight in place here. Okay, now that the tail light is secured, we can grab our wire harness here. So we notice we have split two ways. So one set of the harness is going to be going into the plug on this side, and the other harness is going to be plugging on that side. So let's go ahead and get that routed. I'm going to just take this and route this underneath the frame here so that we're running along this side of the bike, right here, to that plug, and then this one we will run alongside the opposite to this plug. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this wire here, we're going to slide it through this bottom section here. There's a little channel in there that we pulled out the other wire from. I'm just going to go ahead and seat it in that same channel. So once you get it through there, just kind of tuck it in there, seat it in that channel. Okay, once that's there, we're going to go ahead, we're going to plug this in. So you plug it in until it clicks in place. There we go. So you hear that snap. So it's in place. Then we're going to take this wire here, this connector. We're going to snap that in place. We're going to tuck that. Let's see here. We're going to tuck that back in its spot right there. Okay, and we've got this connector on this side. We're going to go ahead, snap that in place, tuck that away. And now what we have left are the wires for this section here. So what we're going to do is we're going to tidy this up, get some zip ties. We're going to get a zip tie on that. So we're just going to wind up the excess wire. So it looks like we're going to have about that much excess. Still got plenty of connecting room there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy this up. I'm going to go ahead and put a zip tie on this. Okay, and that will be able to tuck right in there. So now we've got these little connectors here. Going to go ahead and unscrew this connector here. And what you do is you pass it through the loop. We pass it through the loop. Get it nice and snug in there, secured properly. Push it up. Okay, once you got that in place, then we're going to go ahead, we're going to screw it back down. Nice and tight. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, now for this piece here, we're going to go ahead, going to unscrew the top. Going to push this wire through here. Sure we get a good connection. And then we're going to tighten it down. Okay, nice and tight. And again, the same thing for this. Okay, once we've got that connection secured, we're going to go ahead and tuck our wires. All right, so we're going to go ahead, clip the zip tie. We're going to tuck this down here, and we should be good to go. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to turn the bike on, test everything that we've got going here. Okay, we can see the lights coming on there for the bike. We also do have a light for the license. All right, so we're going to shut this back off. And now we're gonna deal with the relay. So this is the relay here that we're gonna be taking out. So we're gonna just slide that up, pull that out. We're gonna take this rubber piece here off of the relay. We're gonna swap it over. So before we snap this in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this top open. So all you have to do to do that is kind of twist here. Just kind of twist, push that way, and then get it in there and push up, and then that will allow us to slide this out. Now we're sliding this out so that we can make the adjustment to the desire that we would like. Now to make this adjustment, you're going to need a nice small screwdriver where you can turn this little knob here. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug this in right in here, and we're going to show you what the adjustment looks like. All right, so we're going to switch the bike on. Here's the brake, so you can see it's working well with this relay. Here's the flasher, so you can see the timing on that flasher. Now if I get in here and I start turning the screw to the right, you can see it gets very slow, almost non-existent. If we turn it all the way to the right, you can see it blinks very fast. So all you have to do here is just adjust it to where you would like it to be. And once you're good with that, we're going to take this cap and put it back on. All right, so with those adjustments made, you can see here on this side here, there's the groove. That's where the board slides in. So we slide this in here on the groove. Snap it back in place. It's locked and ready to go. We slide that right back onto where the other one is, and we are done with this installation. So we were able to get the fender eliminator on here, license plate light, integrated taillight, everything looks good. So all that we have left to finish this up is to tighten down the bolts. So we're going to take our last set of screws here with this washer setup, and we're going to screw this in here to get everything snug, and we'll also snug in our first set of bolts as well. And again, we're using a 3mm with an 8 for this set right here. We're going to go ahead, put our seat back on, and I believe that completes everything in this set of installs. So you can see how all of these products pair up very nicely to give this bike a nice finishing touch. We no longer have this giant fender on the back side here. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the finished product. And another thing, now that we got the fender off, how much does this thing weigh? So yeah, this weighs about 3 pounds, 9 ounces. That is some great weight reduction as well to get off this bike. All right, so there you have it. You can see here we installed the fender eliminator. It is completely gone. The obnoxious long thing that lived out in this region is gone. We've got this license plate holder. It is the downward mount. We've got the license plate light install. We've got the integrated taillight install along with the relay that deals with the flashing speed. It was a pretty straightforward job, not too difficult. If you just follow the steps, you can handle this job as well. It's your boy BT. Thank you for checking out this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.